Go.
Today I want to talk about an important subject regarding the practice of Tai Chi, and it has to do with moving from the center. So this is an easy idea. Oh, I have a center, I'm going to move from my center. But putting it into practice is somewhat challenging. So the first thing we need to do is to identify where your center is, and then we'll practice moving from the center. So you're going to identify your center across three planes. The first one is up and down. So up and down, right in the middle, basically at the belly button. That's the center from your head to your feet. Then the next way we're going to identify the center is going from side to side and then finding that center, which should basically, again, correspond to your belly button. The one that's a little tricky, move your feet, Russ. The one that's a little tricky is from here to here. So that means that your center is not at your belly button, but it's in the center, literally the center of your torso. So go ahead and take a moment to find up and down the belly button, side to side, also the belly button, but then from front to back, and that should be a point literally in the middle of your torso. Good? Okay, now what Ross is doing is actually good. You can all practice this for just a moment. Just turn from side to side, but rotating around your center. Now, I like to think of the center as about the size of a pea. Okay? Now, there's another method called turning from the dantian, but the dantian is bigger. The dantian is basically the size of a cantaloupe. So we're going to be more precise and find a very tiny little center. Good? Okay. Now, Ross, I thank you. So let's talk about different ways that we can move from the center. So you've already seen with your feet parallel, you can turn from side to side, turning around your center. Good. So let's now use that from the opening into ward off left. So if you start with your feet parallel, put your mind in your center. Now, not on the belly button, but remember you have to go in deep. So you're going to drop your center slightly, step out, and reposition your center over your 2 feet. Then we straighten the legs so the center goes up slightly. We drop the legs, the center drops slightly. Now remember, for our new way to do ward off left, we swing, we rotate from the center, we turn from the center to ward off right, pull the ball, bring the foot in, step, and move forward from your center. Then turn your center slightly, step in, hold the ball, step, and move your center forward. Now turn around your center to the right, bring your center back, turn around your center, square up, move your center forward, cross your hands, draw your center back, and again, move from your center. Now, here, sit back, pull your center back. Your center is basically over your 2 feet. Then turn your center. If you turn your center, your torso will turn, your arms will turn. So step, move your center forward, and then turn your center. Good. So the idea here is that if you can turn your center, that tiny little pea inside your body, you can turn your center, then your torso will turn. If your torso is turning, your arms will turn. Yes? Now Ross had said, well, I'm turning from my core. And that is true, but turning from the core is an external concept. Your core is the stuff that's around your torso, right? Your obliques, your abdominals, your hip flexors. They're all on the outside of your body, so that's why we call them external. They're muscles that involve movement. If you move that little P, the core will engage. But don't start, now I'm using the core. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks different. Now I'm using my core, okay? If you turn from the center, everything is softer. Remember we talked about this the other day. Moving correctly in Tai Chi, your movements become softer. So as we go through our practice today, find your center and start moving from your center. Don't move from your core. Move from something in the center of your body, and your core will respond accordingly. Great, thank you very much.